and welcome to CivilNet. Exactly a week ago today, hostilities resumed on the Nagorno-Karabakh contact line. Today, the Armenian Defense Ministry reported the names of the 36 casualties, people who died in service. Hours ago, 2 more deaths were reported from the contact line. People have consolidated in Yerevan, people are volunteering, and everyone's trying to help with whatever way they can. Today we'll be speaking about another initiative that sees the Arar Foundation, Repat Armenia Foundation, and the Sahman NGO come together to try and help the situation. Our guests are Vartan Marashlian, co-founder and director of Repat Armenia, and George Tabakian, again co-founder and director of Arar Sahman as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for what you're doing and being at CivilNet today. I want to learn more about the initiative. What's the initiative, how it came together?
Thank you for the invitation. First of all, I would like to mention that Repat Armenia is an NGO established in Armenia, which is concentrating more on high-impact brain gain repatriation. Our foundation is an NGO, which is actually a think tank providing strategic advice to the Ministry of Defense. And Sahman NGO is helping border villages. So basically we have our agenda, but in this case we decided that it's a completely different time. We should be very flexible, very quick, and we decided to start an initiative which would support the families and wounded soldiers and died soldiers, and that's why we've decided to start this campaign.
And what's the initiative? How do you plan to help?
As my colleague Vartan said, we all have our agendas, but now it's an emergency situation. Armenia is under war officially. We're not talking about large-scale war, but it's a war. The ceasefire has been announced 4 days ago, but we can see everyday violations. So this is a very fragile ceasefire, if you can call it even ceasefire. And mind that the ceasefire was signed in 1994, so there have been violations since 1994. The only the difference between in the past 20 years and what happened on the 1st of May was that we witnessed a large-scale operation on the border, and which resulted what we have right now. So the 3 organizations that you mentioned, Arar Foundation, Repat, and Sahman NGO, we decided to come together to form a consolidation to support those people who will be affected even once the conflict is over. As you know, and we hope that the conflict will be over very soon. But there are families that they will be affected forever, unfortunately.
We're particularly talking about the families of the wounded soldiers and also the deceased soldiers.
The killed, yeah. Now, we are basing our operation on Arar Foundation's experience. Arar has been doing this for two years with the Ministry of Defense. They take the names of the soldiers, they visit them, and they support them financially. This was done on a very low-profile basis. There have been frequent visits. They have done around 34 visits all over Armenia, which includes Artsakh also. And there have been contributions, financial contributions, depending on the situation of the family.
These 34 visits we're talking about before April 1st.
This started in August 2014, when there were also hostilities on the border. So since we have that experience and we have that logistics with the Ministry of Defense, and people starting asking us, how can we help? And we can see these initiations all over Armenia and in the diaspora, people who want to contribute in a way. And we believe that the priority for now are the wounded. The priority are the wounded because we can still save their lives with medical equipment and with support for their families. And then the second priority will be those who are killed. During, actually today, the announcement was 46, unfortunately. An hour ago, I checked the numbers. And this will be on the secondary
phase.
Yeah, secondary phase.
I can see how Arar and Sahman are involved in this because just weeks ago, Bring on the Buzz Baghanis initiative with the Sahman NGO, we were just discussing it, and it was such a pleasant conversation, saying we're bringing positive change to Armenia's villages, border villages. But Repat Armenia's involvement in this.
It's a good question. We have a big number of followers and supporters. And both repats and diasporan Armenians and locals. So a lot of people ask us what we can do. So we decided to join this. And I must confess, in 2 days' time, we managed to collect over $22,000 donations, out of which 30% were from repatriate-owned or repatriates businesses or repatriate-owned businesses in Armenia. We have several volunteers among repatriates who are now with our soldiers in Artsakh, and also those who were settled with our assistance in liberated territories. Also, several of them became volunteers. That's why we are in this, and I think this is extremely important and crucial. We have also our benefactors who wanted to support this initiative.
So we talked about bringing the necessary medical equipment and the medicine needed to save the lives that can still be saved. But have you considered another kind of assistance to the families of the wounded? Because recently I read that there was a call for psychologists to grief psychologists to sit down and work with the families of the deceased. Also, what else is in the plans?
Look, as I've mentioned, we have repatriates, we have diasporans, we have different professional backgrounds, and they're ready to assist. We are in a permanent connection with the Ministry of Defense. So the first day when we collected money, we bought an equipment of more than $9,000 cost equipment and delivered exactly to the right place, to the right time, at the right time. So definitely at the second stage, we will do that kind of things as well, as soon as we complete our
task. And if this is not an inside information, what is needed for, what does the Defense Ministry need at this point?
This is the situation. Since we are coordinating with them, so we try to get the information from them what's needed. As Vartan mentioned, the first equipment, which are first aid equipment, they are now in Stepanogat Hospital, military hospital. What is needed, we're talking about, the Army, the Ministry of Defense, they have their own procedures for the wounded and the killed, financially and on a long-term basis. But still, especially the wounded, each family has different case, and we need to discuss this with their families. Some people might have financial problems because now the person who was supporting the family, he's now he's not unable to do his work, his input. So we believe each family will have different criteria here. For now, we need to make sure that if there are wounded who are, yesterday they announced there were 5 people who are like heavily wounded. If
critical condition, exactly, 1 person.
Yeah. If you can save these lives, at least we know that they are alive, then the second phase will be supporting the families. That can be financial, that can be moral. We have a couple of psychologists who have contacted us we have a lady from Lebanon who just contacted us an hour ago. She wants to come to Armenia and to help, and there are a lot of people like that. So this is not the time to talk to the families right now, especially those who are in queues in front of the hospitals. We cannot right now provide any help with them. We need to wait a little bit, and in parallel the money is collected. Everything will be done on a very transparent basis. All our organizations, we work on transparent basis. We will announce all the donations on this page. And we are committed to not keep any money for admin fees or overheads. All the money collected will be used for this purpose. So the donors must understand that every dollar that they donate, that from the US or from Russia or from Lebanon, will go for this cause. And we will have monthly reports on this, how much was collected, where we have spent the money, why we have spent it, and all that. So we will try to be very, very transparent in this because it's very sensitive, and we know that people want to donate to make sure that the money gets to the right people. I need to mention also about Sahman NGO's mandate. I mean, when we established this 4 years ago, we never thought that this will be something we have to do. But it's a duty. We are continuing our projects. Bringing the bus to Panis is going on, but that's a very low profile right now. It's not a priority, but we are going to do that. The reason we joined because Sahman has representation in the States, and we have a bank account and a PayPal. So many people can donate directly there. And we have collected around $4,500 until yesterday night, only via PayPal. There are small contributors who can easily transfer via PayPal. So that's why also we joined this.
So what's the end target for the fundraiser? Is there such an end target, or however,
I think
whatever help you can get?
The strategy is as follows. First, we need to buy necessary medical equipment, which is necessary right now to save lives. That's what we're doing, and we actually are very quick and very fast in delivering all that stuff. And also we have some our supporters who have their own medical, let's say, companies in Armenia and abroad, and they provide it for free from their side. The second is to develop one-time financial contribution to the families of wounded and died soldiers. And the third, which is the most important, which is the most difficult one, is to develop actually the entire scheme of long-term support to the families, both financial. In some cases, as George has mentioned, people will have disabilities, and maybe we should make a retraining program so that they don't just sit at home, but also get a profession where they can earn money being at home. But in fact, we talk a lot about problems in Armenia, injustice, but the biggest injustice which exists at the moment is because our soldiers should be 100% sure that if something happens to them, their family will be secured, financially supported in long term. So we need definitely to spend our efforts as three of us, or I know that there are a lot of other initiatives and the government, to push the government to develop such a scheme which will allow all of our soldiers to be 100% sure that in case if something happens to them, their families will be fully supported.
It was announced yesterday that there were 5 amputations so far, and I can imagine that your organization or your initiative can provide a word of support to soldiers who return home with disabilities in this case. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for doing this and for being our guest. And to the viewers, you'll find information if you'd like to contribute at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us.